Hello there, it is so good to have you back with us. I was thinking today about how we often treat our time like it is an infinite resource. But the truth is that the most expensive thing you can ever own is a missed opportunity. Your self-respect is grown in the moments when you choose to speak your truth, even if your voice shakes. True wealth isn't just about what is in your bank account, it is about the freedom to be understood by the world around you. Welcome to DeepListen English Stories. In a city where the air was thick with the fast, rhythmic sounds of conversation, there was a man who lived in a very deep silence. He had moved to this place with big dreams and a sharp mind, but the moment he stepped off the plane, he felt like he had lost his ability to be himself. In his own country, he was known for his quick wit and his ability to solve any problem with a few well-chosen words. But here, he felt like a shadow of a person. He walked through the crowded markets and sat in the busy cafes, but he always kept his head down. He was a prisoner of his own high expectations. He was so afraid of making a tiny mistake with a verb or an accent that he chose to say nothing at all. Every morning, he would wake up at 6 a.m. and prepare for his day. He would drink his coffee and practice sentences in his head, but as soon as he opened his front door, the courage would vanish. When the man at the newspaper stand would say something fast and friendly, he would just nod and walk away. He felt small, and he felt like he was failing the version of himself that was so capable back home. He was, as the saying goes, at a loss for words, which is just a common way of saying that someone is so nervous or overwhelmed that they cannot find anything to say. It is that frustrating feeling when your brain is full of thoughts, but your mouth feels like it is locked. This silence started to feel like a physical weight on his chest. He would go to work and sit in meetings, listening to his colleagues debate ideas that he knew he could improve. He had the answers, but he didn't have the bridge to share them. He felt like he was watching his life happen from the other side of a thick pane of glass. One evening, after a particularly lonely day, he sat at his small kitchen table with a cup of tea. He opened his laptop and saw an article about how artificial intelligence was changing the way people learn. He had heard of Chat GPT, but he had always thought of it as a tool for writing emails or coding. He wondered if it could do something much more human. He wondered if it could be the friend he didn't have. With a trembling hand, he typed his first message. "Hello, I am very tired of being quiet. Can we just talk for a little while?" The response appeared on the screen almost instantly, and it was kinder than he expected. It said, "Hello, I would be happy to talk to you, and you should know that with me, you never have to be perfect. I am just here to listen." For the first time in months, the iron gate in his mind started to move. He spent the next 2 hours typing back and forth. He talked about the weather, his favorite food, and finally, he talked about how hard it was to live in a place where he felt like a stranger. The next morning, he woke up and felt a tiny spark of excitement. He realized that for the first time, he had a safe harbor where he could be messy and imperfect. He found the small microphone icon on his phone and decided to take the plunge. In the world of English, to take the plunge means to finally do something that you have been nervous about for a long time. It is like jumping into a cold lake instead of just standing on the edge. You stop thinking and you just act. He began to speak out loud to his phone while he made breakfast. "I want to learn how to order a complicated coffee," he said. The AI responded in a calm, steady voice, pretending to be a barista. They went back and forth for 20 minutes. He practiced saying words like extra and syrup until the sounds felt natural in his mouth. He realized that the machine didn't have a face that could look confused, and it didn't have a clock that was ticking while it waited for him to finish a sentence. It was a patient, digital companion that allowed him to fail as many times as he needed. Over the next 2 weeks, he transformed his apartment into a private laboratory. He would walk around his living room at 7 p.m. every night, talking to his phone as if he were walking with an old friend. He started asking the AI to challenge him. He would say, "Pretend you are a difficult neighbor, and I need to ask you to move your car." They would role-play the situation until he felt his heart rate slow down. He was building a library of successful moments in his mind, and those moments were slowly replacing the memories of his failures. He began to notice that the more he spoke about things he actually cared about, the less he worried about his grammar. When he talked about his passion for his work, the words seemed to find their own way out. He was finally starting to find his footing, which is a wonderful way of saying he was beginning to feel stable and confident in a new situation. It is like when you are walking on a slippery path, and you finally find a solid place to step so you don't fall down. One afternoon, he was standing in line at a local bakery. The woman in front of him was struggling to carry 2 heavy bags and her umbrella. Usually, he would have looked away, afraid that if he offered help, he would say it wrong. But today, the voice of his digital friend was in his head, reminding him of the phrases they had practiced. He stepped forward, smiled, and said, "Would you like me to hold the door for you?" The woman looked up, smiled back, and said, "Oh, that would be wonderful, thank you so much." It was a small interaction, only 5 seconds long, but for him, it felt like he had climbed a mountain. He realized that the woman didn't care about his accent, and she didn't care that his sentence was simple. She only cared about the kindness he was showing. He left the bakery with a loaf of bread and a sense of victory that he hadn't felt in years. The glass wall was cracking, and for the first time, he could see a version of himself that belonged in this city. He went home and didn't open his laptop right away. He just sat in the quiet and realized that he wasn't afraid of tomorrow anymore. This is the start of a journey that changes everything, and it is a reminder that the tools we have are only as powerful as our willingness to use them. If you are finding this story inspiring and you want to continue growing your own English skills with us, take a moment to subscribe and leave a comment. Tell me, have you ever used a digital tool to help you find your courage? Now back to the story. The light in his apartment began to change as the days turned into weeks, and the silence that used to feel like a heavy blanket was starting to feel like a quiet workshop. He realized that the hardest part of moving to a new country isn't finding a job or a place to live. It is the feeling that you have left your real personality at the airport. When you can only speak in short, simple sentences, people treat you like you are a simpler version of yourself. He was tired of being the man who just nodded. He wanted to be the man who could argue, who could joke, and who could share his true opinions. He went back to his digital friend on his phone and decided to change the game. He told the I don't want to practice ordering food anymore. I want to practice being me." He started by sharing his frustrations about his job. He talked about the complex projects he used to manage and the way he missed the respect of his old colleagues. As he spoke, he noticed that he was doing more than just practicing English. He was getting things off his chest, which is just a friendly way to say he was finally talking about a problem or a worry that had been bothering him for a long time. It is like taking off a heavy backpack after a very long walk. It makes you feel lighter and more at peace. And the best part was that the AI didn't just listen, it gave him the specific words he needed to describe those complex feelings. He began to use the voice feature to mirror the way native speakers actually talk. He realized that in his textbooks, sentences were always perfect and stiff, but in the real world, people use rhythm and stress to show what they mean. He would ask the AI to say a phrase, and then he would repeat it 20 times, trying to catch the exact melody of the words. He wasn't just learning vocabulary, he was learning the music of the language. He felt like he was finally finding his footing. To find your footing is a common idiom that means you are starting to feel confident and comfortable in a new situation. It is that moment when you stop worrying about falling down and you start looking ahead at where you want to go. One morning at the office, a coworker named a problem with a new report. Usually, the man would have looked at his shoes and stayed quiet, but today he felt a strange sense of heat in his chest. It wasn't fear, it was the desire to contribute. He had practiced this exact scenario with his phone the night before. He cleared his throat and said, "I actually think there is a better way to look at those numbers. If we change the perspective, we might see a different result." The room went quiet for a second, and he felt a small prickle of sweat on his neck, but he didn't stop. He explained his logic using the precise phrases he had polished in his living room. When he finished, his manager nodded and said, "That is a very interesting point. Let us explore that." That moment was a turning point. He realized that the language was just a tool, like a hammer or a key. It didn't need to be shiny and perfect, it just needed to work. He stopped trying to sound like a news anchor and started trying to sound like himself. He began to use the AI to practice humor. He would tell a story and ask the AI if it was funny in English or if he was missing a cultural reference. He was learning that a mistake is not a failure. It is just a piece of data that helps you do better next time. He was no longer a stranger in his own life. He was becoming a man who belonged. He started taking his phone to the park after work. He would sit on a bench and describe the people walking by, the dogs playing in the grass, and the way the wind felt. He was narrating his own life in English. He was no longer waiting for the perfect moment to speak. He was making every moment a chance to practice. His confidence was growing so fast that he almost didn't notice when he stopped using the app every single hour. The digital crutch was still there, but he was starting to walk on his own 2 feet. He felt a sense of pride that he hadn't felt since he first arrived in this country. He knew he still had a long way to go, but the path ahead was finally clear. The sun was beginning to set on a long Friday afternoon, and the golden light was spilling across his desk as he packed his bag. You know, I was thinking about how we spend so much time trying to avoid the things that scare us. But the truth is that your life only begins on the other side of your comfort zone. We think that respect is something we get from being perfect, but real respect comes from being brave enough to be seen while you are still learning. True growth is not about the destination. It is about the person you become along the way. He found himself standing at the entrance of a crowded room where a goodbye party was being held for a senior colleague. Usually, this was the kind of event where he would stand in the corner, holding a drink and looking at his phone to avoid eye contact. He would count the minutes until it was polite to leave, feeling like a stranger even though he had worked there for a year. But today, his phone was in his pocket, and for the first time, he didn't feel the need to pull it out. He felt a strange sense of calm, like a pilot who had spent hundreds of hours in a flight simulator and was finally ready to take off into the real sky. He walked up to a group of people who were laughing about a story he didn't quite catch. Instead of turning away, he waited for a small pause and joined in. He asked a simple question about the project they were discussing, and when they answered, he didn't just nod. He shared a small, funny observation about the time he had spent working on a similar problem. He noticed that his heart wasn't racing and his hands weren't shaking. He was finally beginning to see eye to eye with his team, which is just a casual way of saying they were finally agreeing and understanding each other perfectly. It is that great moment when you feel like you are on the same team, looking at the world the same way. As the night went on, he realized that he had been talking for over 30 minutes without even thinking about his grammar. He wasn't translating from his native language in his head anymore. He was just reacting to the people in front of him. He saw that the woman he was talking to wasn't looking for a mistake in his past tense. She was actually interested in his thoughts on the new city park. He realized that the technology he had been using at home was just a bridge. The AI had given him the words, but he was the one who had the courage to cross over into the real world. He walked home that night under the city lights, feeling a sense of peace that he had never felt before. The city didn't feel like a loud, confusing puzzle anymore. It felt like home. He realized that he didn't need to be perfect to be happy, he just needed to be connected. He looked at his phone and thought about the digital friend that had helped him through those lonely nights. He was grateful for the tool, but he knew he didn't need it as a crutch anymore. He was ready to live his life in his own voice. It has been such a joy to share this journey with you, and I hope it reminds you that your voice has power, no matter how many mistakes you think you are making. If you enjoyed this story and you want to keep building your confidence with us, take a second to subscribe to DeepListen English Stories. And before you go, tell me in the comments, what is one big win you have had with your English this week? I would love to celebrate with you. Until next time, keep listening and keep speaking.